We back, man. We touching on the previous subject that I had got I kind of intertwined that with some other shit that ain't had nothing to do with that. So we're gonna revisit that and get at the focus and attention that it deserves.
At Doctors Without Borders.
I'm talking about them Idaho student murders, man. Rest in peace to them 4 kids, man. We just gonna revisit that shit. We gonna follow along with that shit, man. We gonna give our opinions on it, like serious opinions, like we gonna really look into this, man. We gonna really take this. We gonna really look into this one, man.
Tonight, it only takes one moment, 1 minute, one night for lives to be turned upside down.
We lost 4 beautiful souls.
The hardest part, we cannot change the outcome.
For a quiet college campus to become a crime scene.
This could be anybody. It could be anybody.
What do you say to the students who are scared?
I tell them I'm scared too.
And for a killer to seemingly vanish in the mid.
He said, "What do you tell the students that are scared?" He said, "I tell them I'm scared too." Bro, how could you feel some type of what? How you gonna tell somebody's student, kid's son, daughter that?
Of the night.
There is a threat out there still.
It's all hands on deck for investigators, racing to retrace steps, comb through evidence, and stop this case from going cold.
That's what they can't have happen. 4 white kids get killed in their sleep. This ain't never gonna be no cold case.
One tip.
Just like them Delphi murders.
To end the
Just like them
nightmare.
Delphi murders. They was never no cold case.
To these young kids.
We might do a video on them
Mystery,
Delphi
a
murders.
News Nation special report starts right now.
Shout out the news station, man.
Good evening, I'm Brian Enton, live in Moscow, Idaho, for this News Nation special report. 3 weeks ago, the unthinkable happened in this house behind me. 4 university students brutally murdered here. Their killer not only is still on the run, but still all of this remains a mystery 3 weeks later. And we have breaking news tonight. New details that we have just confirmed. News Nation is learning that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries, which may end up being a very, very important piece of evidence when it comes to determining who.
Kaylee's injuries were more brutal than Madeline's injuries. What the fuck? What the fuck does that mean? What if he was just tired? Or she was just tired? What if they were just tired and they ain't need that many, whatever it took them to kill her, they didn't need that much energy with them or something? They saying she got stabbed more with more brutality than the other girl? The fuck that mean? They still both got killed.
The target was in this attack. I have learned Kaylee and Maddie were in an upstairs room in the house, so the killer had to go specifically upstairs to get to them. And again, that new information just confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were, quote, significantly more brutal. That is new information that we are...
Bro, come on, man. So y'all already bringing us... That's the new information? That the killer had to come in and go upstairs to her room? He went to everybody's room that was in there and killed 4 people. The fuck they gotta do because he went to her room and she was probably the first person to get it? That's probably why she got the most brutality. Come on, bro. This some bullshit. They ain't got shit, bro. The police say if they coming out with this as new evidence, that mean they don't got shit. Damn. If they coming out, because listen, the family gotta watch this shit on the news too. So the family seeing this. This is they new evidence that the killer had to come in and go upstairs to their room. So? Fuck that mean? Come on, man.
Are going to analyze coming up over the next hour. All of this really is a nightmare for this town, a
For
nightmare that
real,
they just
man.
cannot wake up from. Over the next hour, we are going to be diving into all of the details of this case, learning more about the victims and their families, trying to make sense of this unimaginable loss here in Idaho. We're gonna go take you around the crime scene, show you what it looks like, as well as an exclusive look at the Idaho State Crime Lab. And we're going to remain focused throughout all of this on the victims and their family. To try and understand how we got to this point, first, we go back to the beginning.
Man, this shit wild, bro.
Moscow, Idaho.
4
a
kids in
beautiful,
college, bro,
quiet
killed in
college
they
town near
sleep,
the
stabbed
border
to
with
death,
Washington
bro.
State. Blanketed in
I
snow
don't know if
this
you
time
heard
of
about
year,
it, bro, but I'm
and
finna put
home
you
to
on
the
it, bro.
University of Idaho, with 11,000 students who have almost never had a reason not to feel safe.
The worst crimes we see in
college.
town involve things like bike theft or cars getting keyed or something like that. We're a nice little artsy town that provides a great quality of life to a lot of people.
But what happened in the early morning hours of November 13th has shaken this community like never before.
I'm scared too. This is a worrying time, but we also have the ability to understand that this is just another example that crime happens, and it can happen anywhere.
Fear.
It
College
happened anywhere.
community still in shock following the brutal stabbings of 4 of their students. So many asking, how did this happen? We start on the evening of Saturday, November 12th. Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Mogan, where many college students spend their Saturday night.
This is almost 30 days ago, November 12th. This is almost 30 days ago. And they still don't have no suspects. They don't know who did this at all. So right now, it's somebody that's walking around among us that killed 4 college students. You know what I'm saying? And they just out and about.
At this local bar, the Corner Club on North Main Street in downtown Moscow. According to local law enforcement, the two were at the bar between 10 p.m. and 1:30 a.m. on November 13th.
At a bar,
At
coming
around
from a bar.
1:30 a.m., Kaylee and Madison moved over to a local food truck. You can see them here on surveillance video from the grub truck. Down 1:30 a.m. on November 13th. At around 1:40 a.m.
So from 10 o'clock to 1:30, they was in the bar, chilling, you know what I'm saying? Then after that, they go to a food truck. Or they get that food truck around 1:40.
Kaylee and Madison moved over to a local food truck. You can see them here on surveillance video from the grub truck down the street on South Main Street.
They out all night. So I'm thinking like maybe somebody was watching them then. Somebody probably was watching them on their way home and all that then. Because if they happen to just be out all night and then this happened that night, it's like, what a coincidence, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe they was all out and somebody was in their house waiting on them until they got back in the house.
Has confirmed the 2 women used a private party for a ride home from downtown to their home on King Road. The home is about 1.5 miles, or about a 6-minute drive from the food truck. They got home around 1:56 a.m., according to digital evidence collected by investigators. Investigators also say Kaylee and Madison made several calls to an ex-boyfriend of one of
That's
the
what I
girls
think,
7
bro, for real,
times,
'cause, like,
raising some eyebrows. That person has now been...
If they was out all night, bro, then they go home and then like that mean whoever follow them, they know they drunk. They know they drunk. They know they finna go in there and pass out. You know what I'm saying? So that mean they probably was followed home for real. I think they was followed, bro.
Cleared, according to law enforcement. Kaylee Gonsalves' sister spoke with News Nation's Chris Cuomo.
There's no boy problem. There's no threat. There's no high-risk lifestyle that could have indicated this. It has taken all of us completely by shock, and we have absolutely no ideas.
Good evening, ma'am.
Damn, they don't got family just lost. That shit's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? That shit's sad, bro. What you say, bro? Bro, real live Michael Myers type shit, bro. Like, bro, that's wild, bro. Like, bro, I ain't even like think of that, bro. But like, bro, real live Michael Myers type, Jason Freddy type shit, bro. Real life, bro. That shit wild. You just said that, bro. Like, bro, real live Michael Myers type shit, bro. Real live Michael Myers type shit, bro. Damn. Bro. Damn. Real live Michael Myers activity. Real live Michael Myers type shit. What the fuck? Real live Michael Myers type shit, bro.
Another roommate, Xana Kernodle, and her boyfriend, Ethan Chapin, were also out the night of November 12th. Investigators confirmed Ethan and Xana were seen at the Sigma Chi fraternity house on the University of Idaho
Got
campus.
away with it, though.
Here's where
So
things get a little
far.
shaky. Law
You know what I'm
enforcement
saying? We
confirms
know
with
God,
News
you know,
Nation,
you know
Ethan
what
and
I'm saying,
Xana
but
were seen
so
at the
far,
fraternity house around 9
you know what I'm saying? But, man, it's sad.
p.m. They reportedly made it back home around 1:45 a.m. Investigators are still trying to piece together what happened between 9 p.m. and 1:45 a.m.
Figure out who they were with, what was going on, maybe any routes or paths that they took to end up going home, those types of things. Potentially, that is critical to the investigation.
As for the two surviving roommates, they were also out on.
It was two roommates in the basement that survived the attack, too. That happened, those two roommates that happened to call the police when they found somebody. They found somebody. So it was two roommates in the basement that was asleep that never got touched. You know what I'm saying? So we gotta put that in there too.
On the night of November 12th in the Moscow community, they returned home by 1 a.m. The two surviving roommates did not wake up until later in the morning on November 13th. That is when they called other friends to the house because they believed one of the second floor victims had passed out and was not.
Hold on, let us do that again. They say they called some friends. They didn't call police. Hold on, wait.
Not wake up until later in the morning on November 13th. That is when they called other friends to the house because they believed one of the second floor victims had passed out and was not waking up. At 11:58 a.m. on November 13th, a 911 call requested aid for an unconscious person. The call was made from one of the surviving roommates' cell phones inside.
They didn't call until 11 o'clock. They said they woke up around 6, 7 when they found the roommate upstairs unresponsive. And they didn't call till 11 o'clock. They called friends. What? That don't make no sense to me because if they all got stabbed up, you wouldn't find them unresponsive. You would find them stabbed up and bloody. So if you found them stabbed up and bloody, why it took y'all 4 or 5 hours to call the police and let them about an unresponsive person? What the fuck does that mean? These people were stabbed up. It's down there a fucking bloodbath. It gotta be, bro. It gotta be, bro. It gotta be something else. It gotta be something else, bro. Like for them to be in the basement and then they get up around. They come in around the same time, 1:30, 1:45. You know what I'm saying? So let's say I come in 1:30. We coming in, we just lollygagging, chilling. You know what I'm saying? We ain't finna pass right out. We finna sit up, talk a little shit. You know what I'm saying? 15 minutes later, they coming in upstairs. You know what I'm saying? We probably still up downstairs. So I think them motherfuckers downstairs, bro. I think them motherfuckers downstairs, bro. I think it had to be the motherfuckers downstairs. It had to be. Why did they wait all that time to call the police?
At the residence, multiple people talked with the 911 dispatcher before Moscow police arrived at the home. Officers discovered Kaylee, Madison, Xana, and Ethan dead inside the residence on the second and third floors of the home, suffering from stab wounds.
It was a pretty large knife, so it's really hard to call them puncture wounds. And they were definitely stabbings. And I mean, it has to be somebody that's pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death.
She said there wasn't puncture, there was stabbings. So that mean that if they were stabbing, that mean the people that found them at first should have seen blood, right? Should they have seen blood? Should they have seen a bunch of blood? Should they have seen a bunch of blood everywhere? If they were stabbing, they were stabbed up. She said that people whoever did this was angry, did it with anger. So should there be blood? Why did the police didn't get called till 4 or 5 hours later? You know what I'm saying? If I found somebody who got stabbed up, I should see a bunch of blood everywhere. I should immediately call the police. I shouldn't call friends. Why am I calling friends? Because I want more people there, more DNA there, more people to be there walking around touching shit. Maybe they was thinking that. Maybe they wasn't thinking that. But why call friends if you seeing somebody that's bloody, stabbed up? You gotta see them stabbed up. You ain't just see them. You ain't just see them. You ain't just look at them. They not waking up. Hey, wake up! Wake nah. You had to touch them and come on, bro. You had to see stabbing. You had to see some blood. Come on, man. All this brutality. How did you not see any? How did you not see no signs of brutality if it was so much of it? If it was so much brutality, how could you not see that as soon as you walk in their room? How do you not smell that blood in the air? How? It's a bloodbath. How do you not? It's so much brutality. You should come in the room and feel that. You should come in the room and feel that wicked energy that was just displaced in that room. You should come in that room and feel like something ain't right. I feel like if you walking with God, you should feel like when you walk in a room like that, that was met with so much brutality and wickedness. You should feel something when you walk into a room like that. You should know something ain't right. And it's not call friends. It's call for help. Call police.
So many questions unanswered. Authorities remaining tight-lipped, saying there are many details still simply don't know. Do you know inside the house whether the victims' doors were locked into their individual rooms?
I don't know that.
Do you know were any messages left behind in the house, like almost symbols from the killer? Because sometimes in other cases, if it was like a fetish killing, they would leave something on the body or write something on the wall. Is there anything like that?
I'm not aware of anything like that.
While authorities remain tight-lipped, we are learning other details from the families of the victims. At the vigil on campus Wednesday night, Kaylee's father gave insight into how close his daughter and Madison were discovered, saying the two were found together in the same bed. Earlier...
It was in the same bed. What the fuck? They was in the same bed? They ain't none of my business why they was in the same bed, but damn, so that means whoever killed them killed two people in the same bed? And whoever came in and found them, talking about they just found somebody unresponsive?
This week, there was confusion when law enforcement said there was a miscommunication between police and the county prosecutor about whether this was a targeted attack or not.
My understanding is the investigators believe that whoever's responsible was specifically looking at this particular residence. That's all that they can offer at this point.
The latest from police is they do think the murders were targeted, but police say they have not concluded if the target was the house or one of the occupants. Investigators have also confirmed a sixth person on the lease was not in the home at the time of the murders. And the roommates and friends who lived in this house behind me were so many things to so many people. Jokesters, a fashionista, some prolific photographers. They were really just typical college kids.
Bro, energy in the room, bro. Come on, bro. You telling me you feel, come on, bro. Like, you can be, the room could be dark. If somebody done died in that room, bro, you gonna feel that, bro. Come on, man. You gonna feel that shit, bro. You gonna feel that, the weight of that. You gonna feel it, bro.
Preparing to take on the world. Their friendships so deep.
Did anybody do their chores today? I'm just gonna do it.
The roommates could rock spot-on impressions of one another.
It's 8. Gotta go. Chase Colin. Oh, Chase Colin.
Two of the young women grew up together. Madison Mogan, Maddie from Coeur d'Alene, and best friend Kaylee Gonzalez from nearby Rathdrum, Idaho. Roommate Xana Kernodle went to high school close by in Post Falls, and her boyfriend Ethan Chapin from out of state, Mount Vernon, Washington. All coming together at the University of Idaho, the tiny college town of Moscow.
Community is reacting with grief, concern. These were 4 very popular people on campus.
Emotions raw at a community vigil on campus Wednesday, including Ethan Chapin's mother.
My name is Stacy Chapin. I'm Ethan's mom.
Her 20-year-old coming to the university this fall with his brother and sister. Triplets, they were inseparable. Ethan's last day spent accompanying Sister Maisie to her sorority formal. Yet the freshman was usually with his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, a junior studying marketing and reveling in the pair's growing relationship. A proud post of Mouse and Chef, a playful version of Ratatouille.
And I want people to take this personally because she was everyone's daughter.
Kaylee Gonzalez's sister talking to News Nation's Chris Cuomo about her younger sister. Kaylee was finishing her senior year strong, with her best friend, Maddie Mogan, always at her side.
So then they went to high school together. Then they started looking at colleges. They came here together.
From tweens to Lake City High, teachers say the two girls never parted. Roommates at the University of Idaho, Maddie did join a different sorority. The live music lover showed off her marketing skills, running the social media account at the Mad Greek restaurant where she worked.
In the end, they died together. In the same room, in the same bed.
Thank all the people working on trying to figure this out. And it really means a lot.
Artsy and funky Moscow, Idaho, the perfect backdrop.
They say these kids was the most popular kids on campus. And now they all dead. So it might have been somebody jealous on campus. That could definitely be a possibility for sure.
For the college journey.
Hey guys, I know I talk about myself a lot, but like, what would you guys do in my situation?
The home on King Road, which once hosted Forever Friends, now bears visible scars of the unthinkable. 4 young lives taken, who, as shown on Xana's high school graduation cap, had their sights set on giving the world so much more.
Make sure that you spend as much time as possible with those people because time is precious and it's something you can't get back.
It's just so heartbreaking what these families are going through. I had the chance to sit down with the Gonzalez family in Kaylee's home. Their loss, it is so heavy, and they have been vocal about their relentless search for justice and frustrations with the investigation. Here's part 1 of our conversation.
You know, she was hurt so bad that she was not able to recover. That is just terrible.
No, it's okay.
It's terrible. I cannot fathom in my head what kind of person did this.
It's capable.
And why. I can't sleep at night.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. What type of fucking person would do this? Like, for real. What type of person would do that, man?
I lay in bed pondering just millions of different scenarios. And just, I want to know, but then there's stuff obviously you don't want to know, but
You just
I think I want to know it all, and okay. I just don't understand why. How somebody can take somebody, four of them, it wasn't just my girl, just so savagely.
Is anyone acting differently since the murders? I mean, is there anyone that you have a weird feeling about that the girls knew or that comes to mind?
Yeah, I would say not in the immediate circle by any means, but a few of the names that have been circulating around, I think it's hard not to kind of, dig into this. And I don't know how much of that is just because we have so little information from law enforcement and how much of it really is, a sister or a father's intuition.
Can you elaborate at all? I don't know. You don't have to give a name, but I mean, is it someone that she knew or?
They say his name circulating around. So that means a family member got an idea who would do something like this. So why they acting like, why she saying, I couldn't fathom who would do something like this, but y'all got an idea who would do something like this though.
I have something to say about that. I just feel like there's been a couple individuals that were cleared very fast. That may.
Those was the people that was in that basement. The people that was cleared very fast. The people that was in that basement. Who else was cleared very fast?
Maybe you should know. And yeah.
She had a strong alibi.
Just really fast.
You can dismiss.
An hour later, and we're like, what? And I don't know. I don't know anything about those individuals. I just know they were people that, definitely should have been looked at, and yeah.
I don't know what would prevent you from sharing somebody's alibi.
Yeah, I think that's what we're struggling with. So it's like, we know what we know.
Police ain't telling them shit because the police want them to try to solve this shit before they get to giving out information. They want to try to keep everything under wraps because they don't want to risk fucking this shit up.
Fought for Jack Keeley's boyfriend, and we still stand that way. So I did just kind of want to clear that up while we're talking through this ambiguity that that's not what we're honing in on here.
We don't want to make more victims out of innocent people.
Exactly.
We definitely don't want to do that.
No. You've mentioned before that you didn't want to have a funeral right now because the killer's still out there. Is that something that you're still thinking about? Are you nervous at all? I mean, because in Moscow, we talk to students. People are really nervous there.
They should be.
Yeah.
This targeting to me, it seems behavior-based. That's why I don't like it, and it kind of pits the parents against each other. So I don't like that. I just told some of the other parents today that if your daughter is no ill will from me, man. To me, if you go have a couple beers or go out and hang out with your friends and then come home and go to bed, if that's your target, then I think we all do that. I think we all come home and go to our beds. Yeah, so it's
kind of a bad word then. It doesn't really make sense in some ways.
Exactly.
And the prosecutor told me that.
Yeah.
He said, I think it was kind of a weird word to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it makes sense if there was some bad behavior that they did, let's say, I don't know, they came from a strip club or something, and then somebody followed them home. That's a targeted thing. That's what comes. I've had innocent people that were interviewed that were their neighbors, and they said, I'd be a lot more scared if it wasn't targeted.
Yeah.
Because I'm not doing anything to target me. And I'm like, well, if targeting is just going to bed with your friends.
So maybe that was just a way to calm people down?
I feel like it was strategic.
Yeah.
It was a strategic way to keep people from hitting the door, transferring out, and turning that place into a ghost town. So.
You never think you're going to lose your little sister.
Yeah.
Ever. You never think.
Man, that shit wild, man. That shit crazy, man.
You're going to have to bury your daughter.
Absolutely unbelievable. It's nothing. Nothing compared to the pain that I feel.
Yeah.
From Keeley. And I don't know. It's several things. It's her age. It's how it happened.
It's her life.
Why it happened. Who did this to her?
Just graduate.
Who did this to her and her friends? The fact that she was with her best friend. I mean, since they were little girls.
That family tonight is so heartbroken. I've been in touch with them. It's literally unimaginable to think about what they are going through, but they are so determined to find this killer, and they say they are going to keep the pressure on the police until that happens. Okay, coming up, we're going to talk more about that breaking news that we learned about just tonight about the condition of the bodies. We are live tonight from Moscow, Idaho. Up next, Xana's mom breaks her silence for the first time.
We need more answers.
And internet sleuths are on the case.
And this is my theory on like multiple parts of the case, okay?
But when does it help the investigation, and when does it go too far?
He said internet sleuths. I hope you're referring to me. I'm just giving my input. I mean, maybe people. I'm just giving my input. Shit.
I'm Brian Enton live.
My input is this shit fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like the lady just said, them people they got cleared fast. They got cleared too fast. You know what I'm saying? That was too fast. Like I said, and there's something that's to that, bro. One of them little boys probably got. They family members probably in position of some man. It's something, bro. Like for them to get cleared that fast and they took all that time to call the police and all that shit. Come on, man. Like that ain't. Come on, man. When they getting down like that, and you can hold a motherfucker for 3 days. Come on, man. Fuck out of here, man. Something else to that shit, man. Real shit, bro.
In Moscow, Idaho tonight, the murder mystery has reignited the murder here. The online sleuthing community who gained notoriety during the search for Gabby Petito in 2021. We are talking about the armchair detectives, people who sift through social media looking for any possible clue. And in the vacuum of information from Moscow police, their voices are louder than ever.
See, I ain't sitting through the internet looking for clues. I'm just looking at YouTube and watching videos and shit. I'm watching you, shit. Motherfucker, who talking that shit?
Here's News Nation's Ashley Banfield.
What we know is that 6 missed calls were made from Kaylee to Jack's phone, her ex-boyfriend.
From the start, amateur investigators shared their theories on the Moscow, Idaho quadruple murders. The case has gripped the nation. People are craving as much information as possible, trying to put the pieces together themselves.
I'm going to talk about these slayings in Moscow, Idaho.
I'm wondering if it was a friend, not one of the roommates.
This is, just as pretty much everybody talking about this case, pure speculation.
Partly fueled by a lack of information from the police.
Everybody has an opinion and they want to come out and say it. And so what that does is that detracts from the public's ability to trust information that's out there.
Police.
What do you mean, trust the information that's out there? Is it because everybody putting information out there, or because you still don't trust the information that y'all putting out there?
Have always had to work around rumors. They sift through leads, discarding the hoaxes and the hearsay to try to get to the credible tips. But the sheer volume of tips in this case could take a toll on police resources. But they could also crack the case. Nearly 500 digital media tips have come in to an FBI page dedicated to the case. The Moscow police are on rumor control, both on their website and during their news conferences. Often, the rumors get started on social media.
Okay, I have no qualifications to be speaking on the Idaho murders other than the fact that I just have been keeping up with them, and this is my theory on multiple parts of the case, okay?
Social media sites seizing the moment, setting algorithms to gain traction on the Idaho case. TikTok posts with the hashtag Idaho Murders have more than 90 million views. Reddit forums with 27,000 members, and private Facebook groups, each with tens of thousands of people, are all talking about the Idaho murders and are ripe with wild speculation, many delving into Kaylee, Xana, Madison, and Ethan's own social media accounts. But these crowdsourced investigations can also ruin lives as they track down so-called suspects on their own. First, it was the young man in the hoodie seen at the food truck in a video that surfaced days after the murders. Police were flooded with questions about who he was.
I think a lot of people were curious about that person. We were able to identify him.
Police have since cleared that man, but online sleuths soon turned their attention to a new suspect, a neighbor of the victims named Jeremy Reagan. He's a third-year law student.
See, them people just trying to come up with shit and trying to get views and shit, man. I'm just trying to watch these videos that the news putting out and giving my input on this shit, you know what I'm saying? I ain't chasing I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, this shit really solved already. Like, if 4 people in the crib died and there's 6 people in there, you know what I'm saying?
At the University of Idaho, and gave a TV interview about the comings and goings at the house where the kids were murdered. He admits that he'd given a nervous smile while talking about the crime. Some viewers took issue and made him a target. Soon he moved from target to suspect, and it was open season on the internet.
People online have just been ruthless. They went through and gone through all of my social media history over the past decade, partly because of all the reports that the people had sent in about me and the interview I did.
Reagan has spoken with the police and even volunteered his DNA. But when he didn't hear back from the officers, he simply went to the station himself and gave police a sample. But as amateur investigators continue to dig deep into his personal life, contacting his friends and his family, Jeremy is now so concerned that he carries a pistol for protection. Amateur detectives have had some success before. During the Gabby Petito case.
That ain't cool, bro. That ain't cool, bro. Internet buggers for that, bro. Y'all got that man out here fearing for his life because y'all putting that shit on that man, bro. I mean, I guess I am kind of putting it on other motherfuckers that was in the crib, but they was in the crib. He was a neighbor. What the fuck he got? I mean, he could have did it, but I mean, still though, shit. I mean, that shit ain't really cool though, man. So I guess, man, we just gotta let the motherfucking police do their motherfucking job. I guess we can't accuse nobody of doing nothing, cause we don't got no facts about shit. You know what I'm saying? But shit, we don't know nobody's names though. They put this man's name out of shit. That shit ruined his life though. His name gonna forever be attached to this shit now. And he ain't did shit. That shit fucked up.
Social media hashtags exploded with billions of views. It was social media users that put the pieces together and gave police strong clues as to where to look. Back in Moscow, Idaho, with every day that the 4 murders go unsolved, the online investigative community is sure to grow. Each wanting to be the cyber sleuth that unlocks the mystery and solves the crime. But at what cost?
I ain't gonna lie, hearing this right now making me think about, you know what I'm saying, about shit. But I don't feel like I'm a cyber sleuth trying to solve the crime. Like, I just feel like I'm just watching this shit with y'all, giving my opinion on this shit, you know what I'm saying? While y'all giving me y'all opinion. We just chilling right now, really.
Cost to the professional investigators and to the public.
I just feel like they don't be wanting to, like, they don't like all that outside influence to, like, and that should be pressure too. Like, it's like, how you got motherfuckers on the outside solving it and your police ain't solving it type shit. So it's like pressure from the outside to solve this shit. And you got people on the outside giving clues to the world. So now it's like, hold on, we know who did it. You don't know who did it? And you got the family hearing this shit. They like, Well, we hearing this story that this person did, a family on their ass, and the police probably scrambling right now. They don't know what the fuck to do.
Now, Ashley, you have been on this story since the very beginning. You've been doing it every single night on your show. We know with the Gabby Petito case, the online sleuths really had an impact, helped solve what happened. Do you think that could happen?
Damn, so in that case, the online people helped solve what happened. So what the fuck they tripping about?
But in this case?
Shouldn't be no tripping.
So the reality is, Brian, that every police officer will tell you when trying to solve a case, there is no detail that is too small. And they ask the public to bring forth any details because sometimes that minute detail can be the linchpin that opens up an entire other set of facts. Well, I don't know how many total officers have eyes on this, but, it's upwards of maybe somewhere below 100. And with the online community, they may be able to triangulate some details between photos that may go missed by the detectives on the case. So in one circumstance, it is highly effective to have that many more eyes that could point out something that's critical to the case. But as we just heard, it can also be detrimental, Brian, to Jeremy Reagan and people like him who all of a sudden become targets for attacks. And those attacks can be relentless. I will also say this, Brian, it is not as though an online community hasn't had incredible success before. You mentioned Gabby Petito. There was also a serial killer in Canada that the online community found before the police found him, and the police ignored them. So there are some lessons to be learned from that.
Yeah, it was somebody that was serial killer in Canada, and the people online knew who he was. The police didn't even respect that, and take that, and see about that. I guess they eventually did, but shit, how many people died before they checked it out, though? You know what I'm saying? That's fucked up.
And there are some things the community can actually help with in terms of investigation.
And you mentioned Jeremy. I saw him on your show the other night. He actually lives right down the way here. I can see his apartment from where I'm standing. You can't help but feel bad for that guy. I heard him on your show say that he actually went to the police station to give up his own DNA just because he wanted to clear his name. All right, Ashley, don't go anywhere because we are going to talk to you about this breaking news that we talked about at the top of the show, the new revelations that we have confirmed about the conditions of the bodies, what that might mean in terms of who was targeted. We're going to get to that coming up right after this break. We are live from Moscow, Idaho tonight.
Still ahead, a confounding crime scene. How?
Man, I ain't gonna lie, this shit fucked up, man. Damn, that shit fucked up, man. Motherfucker at school, just going out for a night, you know what I'm saying? Go get something to eat, take it in, you know what I'm saying? Eat that food, go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? She probably sleep with her friend because they so close, you know what I'm saying? They probably feel more comfortable if they sleep together or something because they females, they probably be scared anyway. You know what I'm saying? They probably just comfort each other. You know what I'm saying? Then for some shit like that to happen, bro, like that shit fucked up, bro. That's some sick shit, bro. Like damn, bro. That shit fucked up, man. Damn, man. That shit fucked up, man. That shit fucked up, man. That shit fucked up, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. That shit fucked up, man. 4 people too at that, like, damn, bro. Like, damn, bro. Like, who the fuck did this shit, bro? Like, this shit, wow, bro.
Did a killer seemingly go in and out of the house without a trace? and reality is not always what you see on TV.
We call it the CSI effect, that some people think, well, we should be able to do this.
Our exclusive look inside the Idaho State Crime Lab.
Once upon a holiday.
They ain't never seen no shit like this in Idaho, I don't think, man. Not in no college.
I'm Brian Enton, live in Moscow, Idaho tonight, where we continue to look into the murders that happened in the house behind me. 4 innocent college students now 3 weeks ago. Still no significant developments, still no named suspect, still no named persons of interest. I want to bring back in Ashley Banfield. And Ashley, I've been looking forward to this because I want to talk to you about this new information that we confirmed just before the special today. The new information is that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal. That is what I can say. Significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries. What do you make of that new piece of information, Ashley?
Well, it's astounding, for one, because this is the first time, Brian, that you've been able to get the kind of information that helps us to perhaps try to figure out why this happened. Not saying this is definitive, but it certainly is one additional clue as to whether perhaps Kaylee might have been the target. But you got more information that makes it almost more complicated, and that is where the girls were found. So walk us through what you discovered today, because many of us didn't know which room when Kaylee's father said they were found in the same room and in the same bed.
Yeah, let me show you, Ashley. I want to take you up the hill here and get you oriented. This is the front of the house. There's now private security out front. And oh my, because it's going and it's very, very slippery. But we're going to walk you up to the back of the house. No windows on the side of the house. You've got the front door obviously on the front, which we know has the coded lock. On the back of the house, though, is where the bedrooms are. Confirmed that Kate injuries.
I don't think it was snowing when all that shit happened, though. It's a lot of snow out there right now, so that might have fucked a lot of shit up.
Brian, I think we just lost your mic, and I'm not sure. There, no, you're back. You're back. Can you just repeat what you said in the last 10 seconds? Your mic went dead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was explaining that we confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were more significantly brutal than Maddie's. We've also confirmed.
I don't understand why does that really matter? Like, why does it matter that her injuries were? I mean, I know it might matter, like if it was just them two that died, but it's 4 people that died. So like the fact that her injuries was more brutal than hers, what does that mean? It's still 4 people that died.
Confirmed that they were on the 3rd floor. I'm going to have Mo show you. 3rd floor here, where not easy access. You've got the balcony. There's a slider. You can't easily jump up there. So what this has us wondering, Ashley, and I want you to kind of walk through this with me. If Kaylee's injuries were the most severe up on the 3rd floor, and there's no way out of the 3rd floor, would that mean the killer specifically targeted the 3rd floor? Because it doesn't make any sense. Why would the killer go up to a floor where there would not be an easy exit for him? What do you make of that, Ashley?
Well, it's significant in that
That mean the killer was in the house. He ain't planning on leaving the house then. He planning on going back downstairs. No, I don't know. I don't want to put that on people that were downstairs, but I just feel like, man, you gotta, man, if it's 4 people that's upstairs dead, and there's 2 people in the basement, and they say that they went and checked on one of them, and they called friends, and then they waited hours and hours until they called the police. It's like, they gotta be investigated more.
We still don't know where the killings began. Did they begin on the 2nd floor where Xana Kernodle's room was? And of course, Ethan had been staying over that night. And we now know that that room was the room on the far side of the house. So not the side of the house that you're on right now, on the other side of the house at the front of the house. That's Xana and Ethan's. And then did they progress to the third floor? And while your mic was cutting out, I think the key piece of information that the audience couldn't hear was which room upstairs on the third floor the girls were actually found. That before now, we only knew they were found together, but we didn't know in Maddie's room or in Kaylee's room. And so as we look at the third floor map right there, bedroom number E, or bedroom E, is Maddie's bedroom, and it looks out the back of the house, and bedroom F is Kaylee's bedroom, and it looks out the front, but also the back where the slider is. So what did you discover about which room? Maddie's room on the left or Kaylee's room on the right?
Man, that shit fucked up. They gotta break this shit down to what room. Like, I don't even understand why this. I mean, I guess somebody could target one person and just kill everybody to make it seem like they wasn't targeting one person, but damn, that shit just. It was just like a. I guess they trying to go into and like just cover everything.
Right. We've confirmed that they were in Maddie's room.
I guess they just trying to cover all angles.
Which is also interesting. That's something that we did not know. So Kaylee's injuries were significantly more brutal, but they were sleeping together in Maddie's room. So that helps.
That means they the killer might have was killing the other girl, and she might have woke up and might have been fighting. That doesn't mean that. I don't understand why they keep like making that significant. Like they trying to feed us that, and so they can just make it seem like they coming along with the investigation.
Put the puzzle together. There's also something new that helped put the puzzle together, and it was on your show. It was an exclusive interview you had on your show Friday night with Xana's mother. We had never heard from her before. She called into your show. I want to play what she said, and then we can talk about it on the other side, Ashley.
Her father mentioned to me that he had just let him replace the lock the weekend before.
You said her father mentioned to you that they had replaced the lock?
Yes, that he had, or he had fixed it or something, but yeah, he said that he had fixed it the week before, just to make sure it was still. Yeah. I do not think it was the house that was targeted. I believe wholeheartedly that it was those kids who were targeted. They weren't just acquaintances. These kids were like best friends. They practically were family. These kids were tight-knit. They were good friends. They were like family. They were around each other constantly. They did everything together. How could it not be a planned thing? You know,
somebody was probably jealous of them kids then.
Could it not have been targeted?
Voice of Xana's mom here?
Okay, so, yeah. I wanted to ask you actually two significant things that stood out to me during that interview. Number one, what she said about the door locks. Number two, that she feels that, I think she put it, these kids were targeted. Talk to me about why those two things, I mean, they're new, and what do they mean?
Critical, and I just wanted to make sure that our viewers knew that was the voice of Xana's mom. She wasn't on video because she's so distraught. That was just her voice that we heard. But she said that the locks had been worked on by Steve, or rather by Jeff Kernodle, Xana's dad, just the weekend before. She couldn't confirm whether the lock that he had fixed was on Xana's room or whether it was a lock to the outside of the house. But I did say, did the rooms have individual locks? And she believed that Xana's room did have a lock. So very, very significant, because we've been trying to figure out, and there's a picture right there on the screen on the left-hand side, is what one of the rooms in the house used to have in it, a coded lock to get into an individual bedroom, and that each bedroom had a coded lock. That was 3 years ago, and we're not sure if each bedroom still has a coded lock, but it's
I mean, if it's an off-campus apartment, I think they should have coded locks on the bedrooms.
critical, because we've tried to figure out how did the killer get in to a locked bedroom, and then how did the door perhaps get locked on the way out so that the roommates couldn't get in and thought someone was passed out on the other side? That's critical.
Oh, that's what it was. The roommates couldn't get in because, wait, hold on. So the door was locked on the way out, but that means somebody knew the code. That don't mean, that just means somebody knew the code. But no. That just means whoever, you know what I'm saying, whoever did it just locked the door so couldn't nobody get in and find them. So it probably could have been, still could have been anybody. You know what I'm saying? Inside the house or outside the house, it could have been them. They could have did it, came outside, locked the door. You know what I'm saying? And then it may seem like, oh, we can't. Like, my thing is, though, why you checking up on them? They sleeping. Like, we was all out last night, you know what I'm saying? And I get up around 6 something. I ain't gonna go check on them. Check on them for what? They sleep. We was out. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? What I'm going knocking on the door for, and oh, they not. Let me call some friends and see why they not answering. And then we get in the room. Then we no, bro, something ain't right, bro.
But I also think it's very critical that she thinks that the target was the kids, not the home, and that it was someone they knew and trusted. And then one more thing, Brian, about the fact that the girls were found in Maddie's room and not Kaylee's room. I think it's important for our viewers to know that Kaylee was in the process of moving out. So it's possible that many of her things were scattered all over the bed, or the bed was in pieces or had no bedding, and that's why she might have been in her best friend's room. But if the killer went into Maddie's room, and yet Kaylee had more injuries, and it's dark, it's the middle of the night, this complicates things even more. Because if Kaylee was the target, then how would the killer know which one of the girls that was in Maddie's room?
They making too much out of this. Oh, she got more. Like they trying to put too much into that.
If they were sleeping, because they look a lot alike, and in the dark it would be very tricky to tell, and certainly it wasn't Kaylee's room. So very, very big find that you've discovered, but even more complicating.
Yeah, certainly some big developments tonight that really help us piece together the story. Ashley, I know you've been covering this every single night on your show. You and I have been on the phone late at night discussing all of this, and we'll continue to do the same thing next week. Ashley, thanks so much for coming on tonight.
You bet.
Okay, we've still got a lot more to come. We are live in Moscow, Idaho tonight.
A News Nation exclusive, a look inside the crime lab system that handles all homicides in Idaho, as we dig into the physical evidence the killer might have left behind, plus unimaginable loss.
A lot of people have been wondering if Kaylee had a stalker, if that was really true.
And new information from a family taking justice into their own hands.
You don't need to be an expert to know.
Justice in their own hand. I wonder what they're going to say about that.
We have been outside this crime scene for a week now, and there are a lot of questions about the evidence inside and what actually happens to it. And just last night, we were standing in this spot. We're pretty much here all the time for the most part. We saw detectives walking out with brown bags in their hands, but we still don't know exactly what was inside. It was an interesting development, though. There were some very, very large bags, and it seemed like they went in to gather some kind of evidence and then came out about an hour later.
What evidence could they get that ain't already been got already, though? Like, what can they get that ain't already, you know what I'm saying, that they ain't already collected?
Idaho State Police Forensic Services, they're pouring over what has been
Unless they just wasn't really doing no searching.
Taken from this scene. They've been in the home multiple times. News Nation got an exclusive look at the State Crime Lab. Alex Capriello joins me live now. Alex, there's so much frustration among the community. So many people are wanting answers quickly because, you see the TV shows. They think that they can get these results fast, but it seems like it really does take quite a bit of time.
Right, it does. That's exactly what we learned from the Idaho State Crime Lab. The fact of the matter is that this is an incredibly complex crime scene, and obviously with the killer still on the loose, every bit of evidence is crucial to try to crack this case open.
The knife, the incredible amount of blood, and the complexity of a bustling home with plenty of visitors. The forensics team is on a case like few others.
It's so very complex. We're not talking about a person that just randomly walks up on the street and stabs somebody and walks away. We're talking about 4 individuals here.
Forensics professor and Body Bags podcast host Joseph Scott Morgan also taking note of how the murderer slipped into the home on Moscow's Kings Road. No broken windows, no broken doors.
And for the investigators, that's a big piece of information. It goes from, if you're looking at a potential suspect, what level of familiarity did they have with this environment? Did they feel comfortable in it? Did they know their way around? Would they say, you know what? Maybe I don't want to go in the bottom. Keep in mind, the 2 people that live downstairs, they didn't die.
And also in this case, a complicated stew of DNA from the roommates and, as a hopping college house, many guests.
But if you broke in, won't you go after the people that's right there? You won't walk past them and go upstairs unless you targeting whoever upstairs, unless you was already downstairs and you should go upstairs and do it.
It'll spin, it'll inject the blank, it'll spin back. News Nation getting an exclusive look inside the Idaho State Crime Lab outside Boise. This is the DNA casework lab. Ready for the complexity of this case and others. The lab demonstrating for News Nation how elimination fingerprinting works for cases with a crowded home or in a car with passengers. You can see that's a really nice print that you left on the glass. But Idaho's Director of Forensic Services reminds the public, speedy and slick TV evidence processing is not the real deal. We call it the CSI effect. Some people think, well, we should be able to do this, but the technology doesn't exist for that yet. Time certainly moving slowly back in Moscow with the decision to tow the victim's car weeks after the murders.
Wherever it is they're storing them, I hope that it would be at the Idaho State Crime Lab, because at crime labs, they have actual evidence processing garages. At that scene, what did they have? They had a piece of yellow tape going around that was providing security.
One solid tip, bolstered by the careful processing of a single clue left behind. The best hope to find justice for 4 young lives.
And just fascinating to see inside that crime lab, the work that they do behind the scenes. Explain to us why this in particular is such a complicated scene.
Right. Well, I kind of briefly mentioned it in the story, but when you think about it, I mean, just look at it. It's a rather large house, first and foremost. 3 stories to it. That's a whole lot of evidence for investigators to comb through. And then not to mention just the proximity to where it is on the college campus, frat row. Obviously, some of the fraternities and sororities are just about 200 yards away. We're told that this was a place where people partied, people socialized. And so that's a whole lot of people that are coming in and out of this home, which could really muck up and blur some of those lines and that evidence in there.
And I know police are remaining tight-lipped for the most part, but do we have a time frame when more of this evidence could come back, the testing?
Well, this is the benefit of actually being able to go to the Idaho State Crime Lab, right? We were able to ask them that, and they told us that the nation is coming in and they are processing new information, but this could take weeks as, like I mentioned, a lot of evidence to come through.
Thanks so much, Alex. Yeah, it's just fascinating to see inside that crime lab. It's not often that you get to see inside a crime lab like that. So we've still got more to come. Alex mentioned it, still evidence being taken out of the house. You saw the brown paper bags. We got that video yesterday. This is all so active. More coming up after this break, live from Moscow, Idaho.
Man, this shit messed up, man. I don't even know if I want to revisit this, man, until it's solved. For real. Like, subscribe, and do all that YouTube shit, man.